What's up YouTube, it's Sean here and I am back today to give you a review of the Nike Zoom Vomero Roam in this black and light silver colorway. As we enter the colder winter months of the year, it makes sense that Nike has turned one of their most popular lifestyle models right now into a winter ready version. So the Nike Zoom Vomero 5, despite the fact that it was originally released as a performance running shoe, it's definitely one of Nike's most popular casual use lifestyle sneakers right now. So this is the black and light silver colorway, and they retail for $180 US or $235 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is black, light silver, and jade horizon. And this, of all the debut colorways of this model, was the one that caught my eye the most. So first of all, here's a quick look at the packaging. So the box that this comes with is not your typical red Nike sportswear box. We have a natural brown colored cardboard box instead, with all these little Nike swooshes on the top done in this shiny finish. So as far as the shoe goes, jumping right into the details, the base layer of the sneaker, as you can see on the toe box, this is covered in what looks like a black colored ripstop nylon, but overlaid on both sides of the toe box, we have a black colored suede. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have this rubberized overlay, which gives the shoe more durability and a bit more water resistance. And then overlaid on top of this, around the very front of the toe box, we have this gray colored rubber, giving you added level of durability. Moving downwards, we have these loop style eyelets with reflective detailing in the middle, and then in the mid panel, instead of your typical Zoom Vomero cage, the cage here is just simulated, and in its place we have this black colored synthetic leather instead. And same thing with the swoosh, so half the swoosh is done in that same synthetic black leather, but then the bottom half of the swoosh, it's molded into the rubber overlay, which is a really nice effect. Moving further down, surrounding the top portion of the ankle collar area, we have more of that black colored ripstop. And then underneath this, we have more of that rubber layer, which loops around the heel of the sneaker as well. Covering the bottom of the heel, we have this stiff TPU heel cup, which gives you structure and support along the back end of the sneaker. And then we have this large loop on the back, which again has reflective detailing and an orange colored swoosh. This helps you get your foot into and out of the shoe a little bit easier and gives it more visibility in darker conditions. As far as the laces go, so these actually come with a trail inspired lace. So these are a very stretchy black colored rope lace with reflective detailing within it. They crisscross through the eyelets, and you'll see they have this toggle on the top, which allows you to tighten up the laces as you wish. And then on the very edge, we have this hook, allowing you to hook the end onto the laces, giving it more of a clean and refined look. But I found that these laces ran a little bit short, so for me, I barely even had to tighten up the laces when my foot was inside the shoe. Underneath this, the tongue is covered in that same ripstop nylon material, and it's padded within to give it more comfort and softness. And then on the top, we have this large woven tag, and fused onto it, we have the Nike swoosh and Vomero branding in orange. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is lined in a black colored mesh, and the collar of the shoe is pretty well padded. It feels quite beefy. And another thing to note is that the tongue is also partially gusseted as well. So if there is any snow or water that gets onto the top of the shoe, that gives you an added level of protection to keep your feet dry. As far as the insoles go, so this is nothing special. This is just your typical foam lined insole. It's finished in this blue fabric on top, along with a contrast white swoosh on the heel. So the upper of the Zoom Vomero Roam sits atop this chunky midsole, which is thicker and more beefy compared to a typical Zoom Vomero 5 midsole. So according to the official Nike description, they don't stipulate whether this is Cushlon or some other sort of foam, but in either case, it's entirely painted in this very light gray color, and they do incorporate Nike Zoom Air both underneath the forefoot and the heel, which definitely adds to the comfort in this shoe. And then finally, turning the shoe over to the bottom, so here we have this very aggressive winter ready outsole. So you can see it's a substantial upgrade over the typical Zoom Vomero 5 outsole, and from the looks of it, it seems like they utilize recycled rubber. And you can see in the middle how the rubber kind of runs up onto the midsole. This, I presume, is to act kind of like a torsion plate, giving you more rigidity and support along the midfoot area of the sneaker. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about how these fit, so in my case, I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I usually wear a size 10 in the normal Nike Zoom Vomero 5. So getting these in a size 10, they actually fit a little bit more snug than I would have liked. So I feel like with thinner socks, these fit fine true to size, but if you're going to be wearing thicker socks in the winter, I personally would recommend going up a half size. The entire toe box of the shoe just feels more narrow and more constrained, and it's noticeably more snug than a typical Nike Zoom Vomero 5. So maybe if you have like a very narrow foot, you can go true to size, but I feel like even if you have a normal width foot, and definitely if you have a wider foot, it'll be more comfortable going up a half size. Next up, in terms of the comfort, so surprisingly, these were actually almost just as comfortable as a normal Zoom Vomero 5. But obviously, because the upper of the shoe is so padded, it doesn't have that same lightweight, flexible feel like the normal version does. So because of that, that definitely deducts points from the comfort of this shoe. But in terms of the underfoot feeling, I thought these were great, especially for a winter-ready sneaker. You have a solid amount of plushness to it, but with the inclusion of the Zoom Air, it gives you some level of responsiveness and energy return. So if you're a fan of the Zoom Vomero 5, and you're okay that the upper of the shoe just feels a little bit more snug and more restrictive and not as breathable, I think that's a fair trade-off to get a shoe that you can wear in the colder, wetter months. Finally, in terms of the quality and craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality was really nothing special, but that totally makes sense considering they were making a shoe to be worn in the wet weather and the snow. So obviously they're not going to utilize very fragile materials. So in its place, we have a lot more durable synthetic materials like these rubber overlays and the tougher synthetic leather on the sides. So that I was totally fine with. In the case for this shoe, it's all about the function. And the build of the shoe, it wasn't perfect. My major issue that I had was the glue stains along this area right here where the midsole connects to the upper. You can see like this yellow stain where the glue is. So that was definitely disappointing, but other than that, there weren't any major flaws that I could see. The stitch job was good, the panels were consistently sized and placed, so my only issue was just the glue stains, but again, it wasn't a deal breaker. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up, and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, I think if you're in the market for a winter-ready, comfortable sneaker from Nike, this has got to be an option for you to consider. It's much more comfortable than a typical Nike boot, and while it's not going to be the best in terms of keeping your feet dry, I feel like they've incorporated enough changes onto this shoe that you can wear this without being too worried in mild winter weather, where it's just a lighter layer of snow or just wet weather. I think this is a great option to rock. So leave your thoughts down below, let me know what do you guys think about this Nike Zoom Vomero Roam, and what do you think of this black and light silver colorway. For anyone watching, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esgo8, check me out on X at sean.go_spoutout, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and hopefully it helped you in some way. Appreciate your continued love and support, and I'll catch all of you in my next video.